right? Or get scarred. And in the same way, and then I add to that, if you are not around people, you go insane.
So
right?
they say.
You start to see hallucinations. Some people start to see hallucinations.
Like you mean like that movie when the guy goes up to Alaska?
Does he?
Yeah, like Alexander Supertramp.
I don't know, but you do start to go kooky, right? There's a story. There are some people, like I even know a couple people who they'll travel around the world and they'll sail around the world and they'll just sail everywhere. And they always say you need to take another person.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because like in the 70s, there's this guy who he went and then he burned down his own boat because he just went crazy.
So, yeah, I think that's even like, I know it's just a film, but the Tom Hanks movie Castaway. Like he even creates a second persona.
Oh, yeah,
so he can
for
kind of like bounce things off of and pretend almost like there's another person there.
Yeah, and here's the interesting thing. We crap on like social media and connecting that way.
Mm-hmm.
But there was this girl, 16 or 17, she was a teenage girl and she sailed all around the world. She circumnavigated the globe.
Wow.
She went all by herself. But here's the thing. And also she capsized multiple times.
How's that happen?
Well, she tipped and she had to get the boat back together.
She got it back up. Oh, I see.
Yeah, she fell into the ocean a couple times and had to get back to her boat. I gotta
look this up. You gotta send me the story.
What is her name? She's insane. She's like so cool. But she did it all by herself. But she
her name was Pippi Longstocking.
She had an internet connection.
Oh,
some sort of satellite.
Right. So she stayed connected.
So she was connecting via the internet.
Yeah.
So and she had a website and she would put up videos every day.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't even go close to insane. In fact, she was like a really empowering situation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, so that says to me, it's like we need each other, right?
Yeah. I also think that there are people that, like, if you had to make them take the garbage out, that have like a mental breakdown and like, well, why do I have to take the garbage out? This stinks. Like, I have to lift this lid. Like, woe is me. And there's other people that like you could literally send to war and make them sail around the world alone, and they'd be like, I'm good, you know? Like, I think there's a lot of...
Do you think some people can be perpetually alone?
I think that... I mean, it's not fun by any means. Like, I think that there's a certain, I don't know if it's a personality type or if it's genetic predisposition, but some people, or maybe the way they were raised, can handle a lot more than other people.
Aloneness, yeah.
Oh, so we're talking specifically solitude?
Yeah.
I think that...
In fact, like... There's a lot of cases where people are put in solitary confinement in prisons, and they'll confess to crimes that they never did.
Right.
So there's a case in Iceland where they did that, where there's and there wasn't even a murder. There's just like someone went missing, and then they just put a bunch of people in solitary confinement, and then they all confessed.
Like, I did it. No, I did it.
And some of them were in solitary confinement for like almost a year, which is kind of weird. This is the 70s, but like it's kind of weird.
Those
like,
are the days.
Can you put people in prison and keep them when you're like, and they confessed and then they went to jail.
And y'all go to jail. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, they would all say, they'd all like, they'd feed them like, well, did you do it with this person? Yeah. And then it turns out they have never even met that person. And
I do know, like, I spent from 19 or whatever until like I spent like 8 years not wanting to date anybody.
Right.
So I was 17 or 18, and then I didn't start dating again until I was 26.
Yeah.
26, 27, I forget. But it was around there, and I was largely alone.
Well, you kept on walking up to women and being like, are you going to cook me dinner? Or, or what's the deal?
Like that scene with William H. Macy in Pleasantville. Where's my dinner? Going to the living room. Where's my dinner?
That's a funny scene.
That is that's a fantastic movie. No, I mean, like, there was a lot of alcohol involved. There was a little bit of rehab, but there was a heck of a lot of solitude and just being alone. And like, I was writing songs, and that was kind of like that was like what I was attempting to do. It was like, I'm just going to try and become like a really great songwriter. Yeah. And so I'm going to like buy a 6-pack of beer and go in my basement and like write for a long time. And I did that. And I've been alone for a long time, and now I've spent a lot of time with somebody that I love.
Yeah.
And I'll take the latter, you know, like being with people, especially being with somebody you love, is there's no like you can't compare it. Right. Like being alone sucks. You know, it's not a great thing. Right. But I don't know. I could have done the whole, like, what is it? I could have, what is it, Paul? I always think of Paul the Apostle when I think about being alone for the rest of my life. Like, oh, I could Paul it out, you know? I could just Paul myself. But
right down to Damascus.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I think I have such a, knock on wood, but I don't think my brain's ever going to break. Like, you could put me in a dark room for the rest of my life and it'll suck, but you're going to maybe come up with some great jokes or something out of it. Like,
yeah, that's true. And sometimes, but sometimes you don't know what you're missing. Like, I realized...
No, you don't know what you're missing, but I don't think I'll ever mentally break.
So I spent a couple of days without my wife, and then, like, I didn't touch... Well, I hugged my kids. I hug my kids a lot. Yeah. I'm like... In fact, I would say I'm probably one of the most physical fathers that I know, you know? Yeah. But anyways, Carrie was gone for a while. And when we hugged, like when she came back, and maybe it was just the touch of a woman, I don't know. I was like, my body came alive. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. This is like, and it was a hug, you know? And it, not even in a sexual way. It wasn't like, it was like,
there's an old adage though, where there's this guy walking around in the desert and then there's these people and they're selling like, they're not selling anything. They're just kind of like hanging out. Yeah. And so this guy kind of wanders in from the weird looking desert and he comes in, he's going to die. And he's like, oh, water. Yeah. And so they pour a little thing of water and they give it to him and he downs the water. Yeah. He goes, thank you so much. And he gives him back the glass and he turns around and he walk back in the desert. They say, sir, where are you going? How come you're going back in the desert? And he goes, that was the greatest glass of water I've ever had in my life. And so, like, I guess the idea of that whole thing is like taking yourself out from something and then being away from it.
It's true.
Distance makes the heart grow, whatever.